Yes.
Okay. Because my cloud is full. I had a little video from a friend of mine in the UK that left from Namibia with her children and husband, also longing to have her children finish school now. And so the windscreen was all frozen. And all they did was put a little bit of hot water, not hot, warm water in a plastic bag. And they just push it up and down like that. And so they were showing that to all their Namibian friends. And the comments that everybody had, I'm just thinking, everybody has great ideas. Well, that's what we hope for. We are VPE, very precious executives, and we are ready to take the world on and change lives and go mad. Do you know what it is to go mad? Come on, somebody must know what it is to go mad. Hello, Walter. Hello, Ursula. Hello, Francine. Francine. To go mad is to make a difference. So I am sure we are all ready to go mad and make a difference. And today we're talking about a thing that is in corporates. And I'm not talking about corporate clubs. I'm talking about if you're part of a corporate. It's something that is so required. And then when you ask the club officers to do it, like, eesh, you get all kinds of stories about it. And you do not get what you need. So before we go into any of that, I think it's critical to just focus a little bit on what is it that we're supposed to be doing, and not in general as a VPE, but I want us to think corporate, think company, and then we can revert that to the VPE side, because this is a very valuable training experience. So the first thing that we need to know before we can do anything, and let me quickly have a look here by a show of reactions or hands or anything, who all have children. Let's just see who all have children. Okay, we've got two people with children. Is that all? Lynette, you don't have children? Maureen, you don't have children? You have. And you, Walter, as well. Okay. You were looking for that emoji, wasn't it? Okay. And Ursula, Francine, do you guys have children? Lorna says she has two. I better open up my viewing so that I can see things a little bit better. Why do I ask you this? Think about it. When you have children, one of the biggest difficulties you might be able to associate with is when you open the children's bedroom or a child's bedroom and you see they have been their creative self. Now, that doesn't mean it's writing on the wall. I mean, they've built a castle here. They've done, or it could be a princess moment where they've changed and changed and changed their clothes. You know what I mean. You open the door, it's disaster in capital letters with exclamations. And you say something like, what's going on here? I want to see this place the way it was in the next, whatever you say, half an hour. Now, when you open the door, they might not have been busy with what they were busy with that you discovered. They might have been lying on their bed with a phone or whatever they're doing. And if they do not feel like doing it, and they don't have the mind to do it, and they feel like whatever it is they're busy doing that moment, you have a battle. Am I right? It's like you just banged into a brick wall. You just banged into a brick wall. actually, don't tell anybody else, but our Exco team can sometimes behave exactly the same. And maybe you and I too. Maybe we also fall into that. When we hear we've got to get something done, and we just feel there's too much on my plate. I don't think I can handle it. I can't do this. It's not going to happen. And the way we respond changes from person to person. The one person will look at you, they might even nod, turn around, and you just won't see them again or hear from them. Those are the blue ticks. And from that level of approach to the other side, where there's vehement kicking, oh no, Ma, oh no, Dad, not now. They will come up with all kinds of things. So there's this whole range of possible reactions. And that's the same that we get when it comes to understanding what we need to do. If we want to excel in life, if we want to be winners, we have to have a winning mindset. If we don't start with a winning mindset, it's like you want to run the 100 meters and there's stones and thorns in your shoes and the gun goes off. I don't know whether that's going to make you run super fast or what's going to happen, but you would not feel like wanting to go anywhere because of those thorns and stones in your shoes. So for us to come here and to share with you, oh, this is what you must do and that is what you must do, is great. And that's what we gladly do, gladly help you. But there's more to it. If we want to be able to make our Toastmasters journey be extremely valuable and count for us. And that value comes from starting with a winning mindset. Now, a winning mindset is whatever it takes, I'm doing this. I'm winning. It doesn't matter what comes your way. You, that. Get it out of my way. You easily then tackle the things that you hate doing to get them out of the way so that you can do the things that you like doing so that you can win, because that's your reward for winning. The same thing is needed when we are busy as VPEs. To start off with, we need to begin with the end in mind. That is a critical thing for us to do so that we can keep focused on where it is that we're going and what we want to do. So make sure that everything you do has a purpose. And I always like to give examples like, I really am very busy. I do not have time to join a gym and go for a workout. But I know when you're over 60, you've got to do it. Otherwise, you just frizzle and become nothing in no time. So what can I do in its place to try and have the same results? I have to. So my purpose is that my bones can be strong and not so porous, that my muscles can be strong, and that I have the stamina to do the things that I need to do. That's the purpose. The fact that I don't have time to do the easy thing, go to the gym, where all the equipment is and everything, and I thrash it out in an hour and I come back, I don't have that luxury. So what do? Everything I do, I have that purpose and intentionality within me. When I approach a building, there are steps. I will climb the steps. I will take luggage. I know I sometimes frustrate men when I say to them, please, I need to do my exercises for today. Just go ahead of me or stay far behind me. Don't worry about me. I'm not trying to be tougher than a man or anything. I just need to do some weightlifting. Let me carry my bags. I need to run up these steps to make sure my legs are strong and firm. You see, I'm intentional because I have a purpose. And that's what we need to do. So when we begin with the end in mind, way back when you started, we had to, for the club success plan, we had to draw up something to be able to identify which potential members would be earning which potential goals for our clubs. Can you remember that? You remember the club success plan. So our begin with the end in mind is, do we even know which distinguished level we would like to achieve? Are we wanting to achieve just being distinguished, earning 5 goals out of 10, or are we going all the way for 10 out of 10? What is it that we want to achieve? Have we as a club agreed on that? And why would we want to do that? Why do we want to put ourselves through a punishing program? Why do you want to exercise? Heck, it's hard work and sweat. Because we understand the outcome. The outcome is critical. Exercises are critical to my well-being. When we take on the club success plan and the distinguished program, we have, without a written agreement, we have agreed that we are going to be part of creating a great member experience, because a great member experience is reflected in the DCP program. It's not that we chase for the program, it's that we chase for every member to have a great member experience. But in order to know whether it's going to happen, we have the luxury of having a dashboard that tells us where are we at, where are the weak points, and where do we need to strengthen something. So is there any VPE here that is willing for me to take your club that you're not embarrassed, especially if you're not where you want to be, and you'd like us to unravel that to make it pertinent to the report back situation? Who's there that would say, take my club? Anybody here? Okay.
You can take my club.
Okay. Thank you, Erica. And Erica, which is your club? Which division is it in?
74, it's Westlake Toastmasters in C1.
Okay, let me quickly go to C1 and see if I can see it. C1. C1, Westlake is there. I'm opening it up quickly. Right. And I shall share the screen. And I need to keep my eyes on the time. Where's Zoom now? Okay. So when we look at the dashboard for Westlake, of the critical items for us to understand, remember, when Toastmasters did the research and came up with this Distinguished Club Program system, it is very much similar as what you find in companies where they have found out what are the key performance indicators that would tell you that the company is on track and is going to do well. These are the key performance indicators to tell us that our members are having a great experience. So if we look at Erica's club, we see, I always like to start at number 10. At number 10, club offers the list on time. Yay, that's such a simple thing. It happens in May or June, the moment they have had the elections, the secretary needs to submit it, and then it's a partial goal achieved for the next group, which is amazing. Then membership renewals on time. You need one time to make sure that your membership is renewed and that you are verified complete on time before the end of either April or September. Not April, sorry, March or September. And for doing that simple, those two simple items, they have received a goal already. Then it talks about club officers trained for June and August. They trained 6, so they already have that partial goal. Club officers trained for November to February. They already have 2 club officers trained. They just need 2 more. Then this goal is achieved as well. Then when we look at the new members, there is we see they've added, this is amazing. They've added 3 members already. They need 1 more member to be able to achieve this goal. So potentially easy wins for them here is 1 more member to add. That would take them, because right now they are on 4 goals. And 1 more member will take them closer to their, because they are required to have 20 members. They have 17. So they actually need 3 more members. And 3 more members is going to definitely give them that goal, plus they're halfway into the next goal already. And then I can see immediately there are some senior people here that are working. Wonderful. They've earned 3 goals for the club. Now we get to the difficult part, the new members, to get them through their pathways. But even if this club received 10 out of 10, it says 10 goals met here. If Erica's club meets 10 goals, but the membership side is not 20 or more, they don't qualify. Yes, there's still a great member experience at 17 or 18 members. But the reason why Toastmasters have a specific 20 and the way they've structured it is because they did research, and from their research, they have put certain measures into place so that you end a year well enough for the next year to start well enough to be able to carry on from there. Okay, I've done enough talking for today. I've shared with you we need to start with the right attitude, a winning attitude. I've shared with you we need to have our end goal in mind. We need to know, do we want to be distinguished? Do we want to be select distinguished, or do we want to be president's distinguished? Why do we want to be distinguished? I've shared all of that with you. I've gone through this. Now we're going to look at the report back. So before we look at the report back, I just want to ask at this point in time, is there anybody that has any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, you are welcome to add questions in the chat. If you have any questions, you're welcome to do that. If you do not have questions, I am now going to show you my report back sheet. But I first want to just check with you before we go to report back sheet. Tell me, how do you guys do reporting in your club? Maybe the first question. Type the first answer in the chat. Do you report back at Exco meetings? Yes or no? Just a yes or a no. I have a question relating to Basecamp manager, if there is a... Sure, Pansini. We'll be discussing that with you. Okay. Yes, no, yes, yes. Okay. The question is, okay, so more of you do report back than others. And just by a nod of your heads, let me know, do you report back verbally or do you submit a written report? Verbally, yes or no? Okay. Verbal, right. Walter, a presentation. Ish, you guys are smart, eh? Get smart. Verbal. Okay. So that is often what happens, that we have a meeting, we come together, we quickly do verbal reports back and just say or share where we are. But I want to tell you, even what I report back to the team, I even forget what I spoke about. You hear me? So how will the team even remember? Now, it's critical that because we all fit together. Think about it. The 7 club officers, You need the sergeant at arms to make sure that the room is in place. Otherwise, the meetings are not going to happen, whether it's online and having the online platform going or in person. Then you need to have the treasurer there to make sure that the finances are in, I don't want to go through all the roles, but each one works together to make sure that the club is running smoothly. So if we are just coming back and quickly giving verbal reports, I believe we are satisfying our minds that we've updated, but it isn't an update that actually can critically be valuable for everybody to see what's happening. So how can we do that without it taking forever? Now, when we do written reports, most people shy away from that. That is where you get that blue tick culture from everybody, because everybody thinks, oh no, not another report. I don't have time for it. It takes forever. And there's all kinds of things like that. And for that very reason, I tried some years ago and designed a report pack system, which I will share with you, which you could introduce to your club if you want to. You don't have to follow this. This is not a Toastmasters item that you should do, but it is an item that helps you understand, because report back has to deal with, we've got a goal that we as a club have to achieve. And whatever that goal is, if the goal is being President's Distinguished, then the VPE has items that feed into it. The VPM feeds into it. The PPR feeds into it. Every club officer has their portion that feeds in to be able to achieve that goal. And that's why it's critical when it is written. It makes it easy to, at a glance, understand what's happening, where are the gaps, and where do we need to course correct or whatever we need to do. So here is the document that I share with you. I'm not going to go into it. I just want to say the first tab of that document tells you how to use it. The second tab just gives you a copy and paste from the Toastmasters Leadership Handbook, the education program, just so that people quickly have it at a glance as to what it is about. I've just copied and pasted. You can see it's very little that needs to be read. And you can see it's the education part. Then we have the Toastmasters calendar at a glance. It's a one-pager that we use. And it gives you the codes there, the codes P for President, E for VPE, VPM, etc. Who's responsible for what when? A simple calendar that you can set up accordingly. Then you as a VPE, although you have the biggest part in the DCP plan, however, the entire group has. So whatever you guys have decided and worked towards, this is your one pager to look at it. Is it on track? Are the things happening that should be happening? Okay. And we've created a VPE planning area here so that you can plan and feed into that to make it easy for you, that you don't have to click around. Now we come to every club officer role has 2 tabs. The first tab is info. The info is either from the club leadership handbook, which is down here. Here's the club leadership handbook, which is just short 3 sections that are there. But the other part is I have done from guest to member to show what each club officer needs to do. And I have some action from the action goals side and what needs to be done here extra. So it's not a lot. You can see it's not a lot to read that one can go through to be able to familiarize yourself. So that is what's there for every club officer. And the second tab is the report. And the report is really small and critical. So in June, what is it that you want to? I've given some examples. Complete membership interest survey. The due date that I wanted to, has it been done? Does it work towards which DCP goal does it work towards? And that's what you can add in there. Plan members as speaking order for Distinguished Club program. It's just short little sentences that you put down there And if you have it here, and there it is for the whole year, and it makes it at a glance that the president can look at it, or the VPM can see what is the VPE planning, or the VPE can plan and see what is the treasurer planning, etc. It makes it easy. So for each one, it's the same information that's there from the handbook and from the cycle from guest to member what to do, followed by their reports as well. Right. That's it, all the way through to the end. That's the simplicity. I'm sure each one of you feel you could write down 2, 3, or even up to 5 bullet points like that as to what you're going to do, what due date you plan to have it, and if the due date was to come, but you're already done, that you've put it down, and which DCB goal is it feeding into. Do you feel that this would make it easy for you to track where you're going, what you're doing, what has been done, what still needs to be done? It's on one page. It's simplified. It forces you, you see, report backs force you to go and assess, where are we now? What do we need to do to get to where we want to go to? And when you type those few words down, you've gone through all of that, and you help the club to keep on par as to what needs to happen. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, question. How do you feel about this type of report back system? Do you feel that this would add value? And even if you just follow it, you just do your part and the others don't have buy-in. But can you see what it does to you? It helps you to have that winning mindset and to keep focused what you're doing, to course correct. I've planned this one, and this one to finish level 1 at that stage. This one is not going to make it. Who else can I bring in? Who can I groom? How can I make it work? You understand? And that way you don't sit with a surprise at the end of the year. And do you know, I've had to do speech evaluations for people at midnight because they still needed to finish a speech in order to complete a level for clubs. They tell us, oh no, we can't do that because this person still needs one more. I said, you've achieved 4 DCB goals. You need one more. Where's that person? Wake them up. I'll evaluate. We need 3 people. Do you know that's the legality in a Toastmasters meeting? If you go to a corporate and you want to do a presentation there, you need to have you and 2 other Toastmasters so that there's the 3. And one will be your evaluator. That's a legal thing that you can do. So in that same manner, because we want to keep integrity, we want to do it right, you hear. But in order to help them, then we've done things like that to help them, to help people feel, because if they feel they have won, even though they didn't win like they wanted to, but then they felt the pain of what got them there and they prepare better going forward. You hear? So that's my encouragement to you. Are there any questions? Lynette, because I don't see your face, I forgot you're on the call. What did you want to add anything? Sorry, man.
Sorry, I had to look for the unmute button.
I saw that.
The thing that I find trips me up is if I have done an activity and I leave the paperwork. If the paperwork is easy to do, if you can do it within 2 or 3 hours of having finished that meeting. So if I book time for a meeting, I will, you need an hour for a meeting, say it's an exco meeting, I keep the next hour as well. And then you just do the notes or the paperwork or whatever while you're actually in the meeting, particularly if it's on Zoom. It's easy to do it, or you do the evaluation and it's finished then. If for some reason I can't get it done then and I have to come back to it, then it becomes a burden. And when you're in meeting in person and you're doing evaluation, make sure you've got the evaluation form, you fill it in the meeting, you give it back to the speaker before you leave. Don't say, okay, I'll mail it to you next week. It doesn't happen. Do it straight away, because otherwise, if you can, then it really becomes easy to do things and you learn and develop shortcuts. But if you leave it and you think you're going to go back to it, that's shooting yourself in the foot.
And then often you forget, and it wasn't your intention to forget. You just forget because you're so busy. Thank you, Lynette. Anyone else has a question or a statement to make around that? Okay, I will drop that spreadsheet for you in the WhatsApp group. I assume you are all in the WhatsApp group, hey? Okay, I will drop it in there for you to look at and go through it and to enjoy. I would like to ask, I know that Francine had an additional question. Before I answer that question, is there anybody else that has any questions relating to feedback, report back, etc.? Can you even see value in reporting back? Yes, Maureen.
So, Granny B, the VPE has the responsibility of giving the report, this DCP report, only at Exco. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right. Each tab there, like the tab that says VPE, is when you have your Exco meeting. Now, Exco meetings should be once a month. And when you have your Exco meeting, you look at giving a report back regarding that. So when you plan, you would plan, what must I do in the next month to align with the DCP goals where we're going to? And then you can say, this will be done, that will be done, this will be done. And if something was done even faster, then you can say, it's done, and which goal does it feed towards? Okay.
So the president doesn't report on that report, only the VPE. Yeah.
No, it's not just the VPE, it's all the club officers. That's what happens. And the president is because remember, the president is the leader of the club and doesn't have a job to complete. The entire rest of the team, it has jobs to do in order to achieve the goal. The president's job is to check that everybody is doing their work and to be able to assist them and help them and make plans to lead the club to be able to get to that place of whatever they have decided the goal would be. Okay.
Thanks, Granny B.
And that tool becomes valuable for the president to be able to see what's happening and say, uh-oh, Secretary, there's now a problem here. We need to fix that in order to make sure that we achieve our goals, or whatever the case may be. Yes, Lynette.
The president needs to know what's going on and see that everyone's doing everything like you said, but he then in turn has to report to the area council. So he has to be able to go somewhere, find out what's happening, unless it's been at an Exco meeting, and have the information available so he can report up the line.
Excellent statement there. Yes, thank you. Okay. Anyone else regarding that? Yes, Walter?
Thank you, Toastmasters Granny. I saw that in the spreadsheet, there were tabs there related to the VPM. I was wondering how does the VPE can work with the VPM, because I have tabs, right? And the PM probably has her tabs or his tabs as well.
Okay, so sorry, I thought you were finished.
No, I was finished.
Okay, that's an excellent question. So what we did was this document, we kept it on our Google Drive. So when I'm ready, I exit into the Google Drive and I add mine in. So it stays online and everybody can see what's happening. And the secretary, when they have to do minutes of the meeting, it makes it so much easier because all the reports are there. They stay there permanently. It's a one document for the entire year. You see everything there. Everybody can see what's going on there. And all the information that everybody needs is handy in one document. You hear? So it's not a document that you will download and keep for yourself. We always advise that every club should have a Google Drive or a MS Drive or whatever drive you have where you can all access the information at the same time. And this would be then one of those documents that you would all access in order to be able to report back going forward with the club. Okay. Yes. Yes, Walter.
Yes. One more question. The tab related to the word months there and roles and specific actions related to each month. I was wondering if that is something permanent or is year by year basis, those actions.
Just say that again. Which actions did you see?
The word
At the document.
Document, yes.
Yeah, it can be. It can just be that when I set up the document, I typed something in for the VPE and I just copied and pasted it to everybody down the line. I can't remember. I must just go and have a look. Is that what you're talking about? Let me just quickly go there and make sure that we are talking the same story. Because now we're at VPM and it still says the same thing. And let's see if PR, okay, I deleted it. Yeah, at PR, it's the same. I must just go delete those so that people are not confused.
No, but I wasn't talking about that.
Okay, what were you talking about then?
TM year goal. I think that is it.
The what? Say again?
TM year goal. I think.
Year calendar. Yeah. This Toastmasters year calendar. Yes.
Okay, this calendar, I was wondering if those actions there are something that you need to do every year, or that's just for this year specifically, or we can edit this.
That you can edit it, you can edit that, but these are the actions that came. A lot of those actions came out of the club leadership handbook. Okay, and you know the way they write it, it's a lot of things. For me, I struggle to interpret that into my head. I need something like this to make it easy for me. Okay, it's August. What must happen in August? There's all the things that must happen in August. If I'm the president, I can quickly see what must happen. And if I am a VPM, I can see what am I supposed to do in August. You understand? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Are you all happy now? Great. Then, Francine, you were asking about Basecamp Manager.
Thank you, Bernie. Good afternoon. Thank you for the session. I want to follow up. So I have raised the matter at a previous VPE training session, and I've also sent my inquiry to the email address educationprogram at toastmasters.org. The concern is that after the Basecamp revamp and the relaunch, we've picked up some of our members have lost their data, or somehow it wasn't pulled through to the new Basecamp. There's a lot of gaps in our members currently, but the concerning fact for me is that our monthly reports are actually up to date. So when we get our Basecamp report, well, the last one I reflected on was October. So my October report for Basecamp activities correctly reflected all of the progress paths and all of the members were up to date. But somehow that is not reflecting in our Basecamp manager views, and it's leaving our members quite confused as to where are they, and there's quite a bit of frustration from our member side.
So if Francine, I'm wondering if anybody else here can relate to what Francine is saying. I've made you co-host. I don't know if you are on a device that you can share with us what you are talking about, because I'm struggling to see what you are talking about.
Let me share. I'll quickly open my Basecamp Manager and then I'll just share this screen.
Okay, because I know they sent a few emails prior to the changeover to say, please, we're going to change over that day. Please download things because
Yes,
some things might get lost. So that
right.
I can
But
understand. But you're now
our
talking about something
concern,
different. Yes.
no, the concern really is the fact that on the Basecamp reports, it is up to date, it is correctly reflecting, but somehow it's not on the dashboard and the Basecamp Manager view. So I'll just quickly open the screen and I'm going to share now.
While you do that, because I'm looking at the time, I just would like to say it's almost time. I mean, we always try to make it until 1:45, and then we have open for questions so that if anybody needs to leave, they are welcome to leave. Just want to make sure that you all understand that if you need to leave, you're welcome to leave. Else, if you want to be here to just, while I'm helping Francine with her question, you are welcome to learn with us. Maybe you have a better answer than I have. Okay, Francine, we're listening.
Perfect. So on the screen, do you see all the gaps for various members? And these are actually long-standing members. It's not necessarily new members. And some of them have already completed level 3, but now it's just empty.
Okay, so this is
And
now when you go into Basecamp
this is
Manager.
my Basecamp Manager view as VPE, correct?
Okay, but if that person goes into their
In their
education
Basecamp,
part,
so
into their
yes, we've done that bit of a sync to see what are they seeing. They are telling me somehow their systems seem to be grayed out and they can't proceed, so they can't move on to the next levels. They can't seem to submit. They can't seem to sign off.
Okay.
So that's why I
So,
ended up sending my inquiry to education programs at Toastmasters.
okay, a question then for you would be of those people where it just shows dashes,
Mm,
I assume they are all current members and paid up.
correct, correct.
Okay.
And my biggest concern is that my monthly Basecamp automated reports that I get via my inbox reflects updated. It's just not somehow captured in this Basecamp manager view on the
Okay.
dashboard. And it's also not on their side. So they also seem to be stuck on their systems.
Okay. So that definitely seems like quite an interesting problem. Lynette, yes.
I'm just wondering if the Basecamp still requires, I'm not a VPE, so I don't have access to this currently. But previously, when you went in, you used to have to update those reports each time you entered. So does that still
Refresh.
apply, and has that been done?
Which reports is this, Lynette?
The report you're looking at previously, it used to have in the top right-hand corner a place where you had to upload, not upload it, update
Refresh.
it,
Yeah.
refresh the report. So I'm just wondering if that may be what is causing your problem, but I don't know if it's still there in the new Basecamp because I'm not a VPE currently.
No, I don't see that there. Estelle, have you come across anything like this? Your lip reading is not so good on my side.
Sorry. I have not, no, but I have attended the course that they presented on the new Basecamp. And they said, if there's any queries like this, we should just email them, which you already
Which is
did,
what I've done.
Francine.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I've also
When did you
attended
do
that training.
Have
I've
you
also
received
attended that
feedback?
training. No, and it's been about a month almost.
Okay. So what I would like to ask you is, would you please reply all to your email that you sent to them and CC me in? It is Thanksgiving now, so nobody is going to be at Toastmasters
Right.
to talk. Then
Right.
early next week, I will, thank you, Walter. Early next week, I will then phone them and hear what they have to say. Okay.
Okay,
But I can
perfect.
only do that if you CC me in. Okay.
Right. I will do that. Thank you so much, Granny B. That's helpful.
Alrighty. Please just also make sure that when you do the CCing in, that you give me a screenshot on a person that's grayed out. I mean that has the little dashes, and go to
Right.
one of
I've done
those
that.
people and make screenshots of what they see
They
and
are
how they
seeing.
don't. Yes,
Okay.
please, so that we
The
can
email
have.
that I've sent to the education program, I included some screenshots, but I'll just get a screenshot from the member just to compare as well and put that in the email for you.
Thank you so much. Then do you have my email? You can do that to my email. Hey.
I do. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Right. Anybody else that has, I mean, it's 2 minutes past 2, so it's Friday, and it's supposed to be Thanksgiving somewhere. So if you have another question, I just don't feel like getting up now, so I'm happy to answer another question because I've got such heavy work to do that lies ahead of me. So please keep me anchored here and ask me a question. Okay. If there are no questions, then I guess by the way, this was our last meeting for this training sessions, etc. I am going to miss you all because some of you have been like, here all the time. So where's our wine and celebration and what have you? I guess that we need to, in June, have a meeting like this on a Friday that we can check where are you and what do you need to be able to make sure you finish distinguished and well, okay? I would like to wish you all so well as VPEs. May you have a wonderful December rest, that when you come back, you're ready to take on the world and be number one. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Lynette.
you. Bye.
Bye.